Agreement is that Dak Prescott is the future quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. What that means is this: Deion Sanders, if you want to coach the Cowboys, you got to coach Dak Prescott. But Shady, should Coach Prime want to coach Dak?
That's a tough question. Just knowing like how Dion is a winner, right? A lot of dog and Dak like not really winning in meaningful games. It's tough. But I'm gonna say yes because Dak. One thing about Dak Prescott, he is a good quarterback. That's one thing that I will say. He's a good quarterback. He's really, really good in the regular season. Not as good in the playoffs. And I think he needs somebody like Dion, who's a leader, that got that dog in him. Mm-hmm. One thing about Dak, man, I think he's a good guy. I think he has some talent at the quarterback position. I don't think he has that dog in him. And I think sometimes you need either players to get it out of you or you need coaches. And I think giving a guy like Dak Prescott, I think Dion brings that dog out of Dak. I think he needs that. And I think they will be a good working project because Dion's going to hold him accountable. Ain't none of this bullcrap where if you don't get it done, we just blame somebody else. Mm-hmm. I watched him talk about his own son, right? I tell him Shiloh came back from injury, and you know injury usually be rusty. He said, hey, man, he played sorry today. He played terrible. Now, I know he'll get better, but he played bad this game. You don't see people do that, especially on your son. Mm-hmm. So I think that would be a good matchup for them, too. I think that needs to be around a winner and a dude that got a lot of dog in him, and Deion Sanders is that.
I think when you talk to Cowboys, it's more than just the coaching part of it. And so wherever Prime go, he the star. It don't matter where he go. Whatever room he walks in, he the star of the room. And so when you talk the Cowboys, Jerry is the star.
That's right.
And is he willing to take a back seat? Is he willing to dim his light because now there's a brighter light in the room? And so there's just so much that comes with this. Right. But if we take Prime at his word, he don't want to go to the league unless he can coach his sons. Mm-hmm. This seems like this isn't going to happen, so I'm going to say no, just because of what he said and what we've seen out of the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. I just can't see Jerry Jones getting up here saying in a radio interview or whatever, like, I don't like the way the coaching staff put this game plan together and Prime the coach. Because if he says that, Deion gonna say something back. And now what? And so are you gonna ruin a relationship / friendship over this? I think, to me, stay where you at in Colorado. You can affect these young men in such a positive way and go to an NFL team that you know when you walk in the room, they don't care that you're the star.
Oh, man. Should he want to coach Dak Prescott? The answer is yes, because Dak Prescott going to be there. And if you want to coach in the National Football League and you want to coach for the Dallas Cowboys, you are going to coach Dak Prescott. One thing I will say about Coach Prime, right? I don't really know how good he is with the X's and O's, and I wouldn't put him up there with the top coaches with the X's and O's. But I will put him up there right at the top of any coach of getting the best out of your players. Yeah. And maybe that is what Dak Prescott needs, like you saying, Shady. When you get into the playoffs and you in these big-time moments, maybe you need a coach like Deion Sanders or a coach like O'Connell to get in your ear and say, I'm proud of you, dog. You're playing. Whatever it may be to get the best out of you. Coach Prime has showed at Jackson State, at Little League, at Colorado, that he is going to get the best out of his players, no matter what position the players play. And if you asking me about Dak Prescott, I think Dak Prescott could benefit off of Coach Prime. And I think Coach Prime will take a lot off of Dak Prescott's plate when you talk about attention-wise, because a lot of the attention is going to go to Coach Prime. True. If Coach Prime gets to the playoffs and loses a playoff game, kind of like the Cowboys lost against the Packers, a lot of that's going to go to Coach Prime. They're going to say he didn't have the defense ready. He didn't have that. A lot of that's going to go to him. With Coach Mike and these other coaches, a lot of it goes to the quarterback. So I think he'll be able to help Dak Prescott in situations like that. He plays this game at a really high level. I think he can, confidence-wise, get Dak Prescott to play at a higher level in the playoffs, because it's tough to get him to play at a higher level in the regular season because he's done everything you possibly can do in the regular season. But in the playoffs, I think Coach Prime could help.
I think Prime would maximize Dak's talent. I'll say two things. Number one, the Cowboys draft 12th overall. There is a world where the Cowboys find a way to trade up, acquire Shadeur, sit Shadeur on the bench for 1 year, make Dak the starter this year. Coach Prime, his beloved coach is Andy Reid. Andy Reid, he subscribes to and has told us on our show personally, he is all for sitting quarterbacks. But that's the B part of my take. The A part of my take is I don't believe that Dak Prescott gets to be the full version of himself in Dallas because of the coaches historically. I was in Dallas when Dak got drafted. The Dallas that y'all see and the Dak that y'all see and the real Dak, two different people. Dak Prescott got drafted with Jason Garrett there, businessman, and Jerry Jones there. Then you get Kellen Moore and you got Mike McCarthy and you still got Jerry. If Coach Prime is there, Dak will actually, I believe, get to be Dak. Whatever swagger lives inside of him, whatever confidence lives inside of him. I was watching an interview online, Shady Day, and you were doing it. I forget whose podcast it was, and you were talking about when Chip came to the Eagles. Shady said, I wear black socks. I'm black. I wear black socks. Close quote, a direct quote. Shady said, Chip Kelly wanted Shady to wear white socks. Shady said, okay, fine. I'm going to wear my black socks, and I'm going to put white tape on it. And Chip was like, well, Shady, you're still wearing black socks. Shady's like, but you can see the white. Shady's aura existed with Andy. Chip tried to dim his aura.
What was the white socks for? Sorry.
Yeah, it was just Chip's thing. He just liked white socks.
I try to compromise.
So what I'm suggesting is this. Shady couldn't be Shady with Chip Kelly there. And Shady couldn't get the most out of Shady with Chip Kelly there. Not just statistically, I'm talking life itself. With Dak, I don't think Dak has ever fully been Dak. Jason Garrett, Jerry Jones, I don't think allow Dak to fully be Dak. Mike McCarthy, exactly right. Jerry Jones, I don't think you allow Dak to fully be Dak. Let Prime come in there with all of Prime swagger. I think Dak then will allow to fully be Dak, and I think you will get a different Dak on the field because you'll get a different Dak off the field.
You know what? And that whole take, it made me look at Dak different. Because maybe this ain't the Dak that okay.
It's not.
Okay.
Dak has turned into a full-fledged company man. Every now and then he lets y'all see a bit of it. Every now and then the real Dak comes out, but the real Dak gets in trouble. Yeah. Remember when the fans threw stuff at the opposing team and Dak said, like, I see why they did it. And then, Dak, how dare you say that? Remember the interview this offseason when Dak was like, look, if they want me back, they want me back. Yeah. Every now and then y'all see the real Dak. With Prime there, I think you're going to see all real Dak.
I got one pushback on you on that,
yes,
though.
Sir.
Because you said your B take was trade up, draft Shadeur.
Mm-hmm. You picked 12 overall.
You don't think that that's going to be a problem with Coach Prime and Dak and all that? You think Dak will still want to be there if you draft Shadeur?
Not at all.
Here's my thought, James, is this. The best coaches I ever had were honest. I've told you about it. Dave Phipp, you know him because he coaches San Jose State. He was a special teams coach for the Detroit Lions right now. Shout out to Phipp. He was my coach with the Eagles. He said, Acho, look, you're supposed to get cut. Don't make the Eagles make the team. I think if in the event the Cowboys draft Shadeur, if Dion says, hey, Dak, ball out this year, baby. We all in on you this year. Shadeur is not playing this year. I don't want him to. It's all yours. You got the keys. Let's make a run at this thing. Whatever happens next February, it happens. We gonna deal with it then. I think Dak would respect that. I think Shadeur would respect that. Prime, y'all know, Prime a straight shooter. So I'm just saying, I don't believe Prime to be a liar. What? Prime said he's only coaching in the league if he can coach his son. But I believe Prime to be a brilliant businessman. Brilliant business says coach the Cowboys. So the only way Prime cannot be a liar and still be a brilliant businessman is if you do trade him.
There's a lot of money involved, though, now, though. You know what I'm saying?
And the Cowboys don't pay that type of money to their coaches.
And I got a no-trade clause and all that. So I hear what you saying, dog. It's in my control, homie.
True.
You know what I'm saying?
But one thing, though,
giving me all these pep talks and all that type of stuff. If I don't want your son going out here, it's really in my hands. I have a no-trade clause. Mm-hmm. I can say no, and y'all got to break me off all this bread to sit on the bench or what. You know what I mean?
But one thing about players, though, you want to be somewhere that you're wanted.
100%.
When you're a quarterback, you ain't just no running back, no wide receiver, no linebacker, right? When you want to be somewhere that's wanted, all right? And I think that Andy Reid always say, competition brings out the best in you. Yeah. Or competition will show the coward in you, right? And I remember this week or last week, I was at the Eagles game. I was messing with Howie, like, man, you just find a way to get a great roster every year. And that's what he said.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.